Hey guys, Gil here. Wanted to make a video kind of for a self-document here of where I'm at gold-wise and investment-wise. I kind of go over my ledger from what I have from Classic. Tomorrow is the start of the 24-hour maintenance for TBC Prepatch. It's January 11th, 2026. And so I'm going to start out real quick. Last month I've been doing a lot of flipping. So this character is, and I've been trying to liquefy a bunch of my gold, so I've got about 18,500 gold, plus, you know, some techs and whatnot on the auction house. Creator essences, about 3,000. I'm about 20k, I would say, with semi-liquid or liquid gold. Over here real quick to the mailbox. I'm gonna try to do this a lot quicker than I did the last time I did a walkthrough of all my investments about 2 months ago. I also would like to kind of go over some of those. So in here I've got like some flasks of mojo, some mage weave. I've got about 2,600 mage weave, it looks like, to about 4,000 total. I think this goes up once the boosting gets nerfed. You can still go kill a bunch of Scarlet Monastery, but I think that this goes down, or I'm sorry, the cost of this goes up because the people that are actually in Scarlet Monastery and Zul'Farrak goes down a lot. Got some golden sansum. You can see my average cost is 5 silver. It's that first number under TSM accounting. The purchased, min, average, and max price. So the most I paid for 7. You can see its market value is about 16. That's because it's used to level. It's used in TBC, but it's also used to level alchemy, or I think healing elixir, or elixir of healing power. These Librams of Fervor I bought. I think I had them in the last video, but I've been buying them for a while. It looks like I ended up buying 40 total for an average of about 13 gold. I've sold 22 of the 40 for 38 gold on average. So I've made about 25 gold per. So it's not great gold, but I made 400 gold. And then the thing I've made the most money on, which I think I also mentioned this in the last video, you can see my revenue. These encrypted Twilight texts have been ridiculous money. You can see the last 60 days, I've sold a total of almost 40,000 of them. I wish all time I've sold 50,000. And then the amount of money I've made is, let's see if I go to resale text all time. I've made about 11,000 gold just by flipping these. So I buy them, resell them. Okay, so that's basically the money that I have now. Some of the investments that I have. I'm trying to acquire more Nexus crystals. I've had my eye on these for a couple months. These can be converted into small prismatic shards, and then they can be transmuted or whatever, enchanted again into large prismatic shards. I watched some videos. I think large prismatics will go for about 30 gold per in phase like 1.5, 2, basically after people are done leveling. There's a lot of enchanters in TBC because it's really good for the spell power rings. There's a lot of warlocks that use it, and the mages will probably want enchanting or engineering. Point being that they can DE a lot of the blues when people are running dungeons. But I think this is a safe investment, or it's at least a par investment at about 8 gold. So that's what I'm trying to get them at. And then so what I've been doing is try to get them cheap, and then I'll flip them if they're expensive right now. Yeah, so that's this character. All of my preparation for paladin leveling was completely put out the window, which was probably about 1,000, at least 1,000 gold in like mats and gear and stuff. Not too bad, but what I'm gonna do is basically save it all. All that gear is on this guy still, that's pre-enchanted and all that. I'm gonna level a second paladin the real way, the right way, but for a pre-patch I'm gonna boost one so I can keep up with my raid team, kind of be as maximally prepared as I can be for release. This guy just has a kit of stuff I'm going to pass to my paladin that I'll make on Tuesday. So they're doing the 24-hour maintenance, and then I'll come back on Tuesday afternoon and make him. So I've just got some like basic stuff. I didn't super prepare that much for level 50 on because I didn't think I would need to have it ready. And I didn't have it pre-enchanted because my paladin is going to be an enchanter. So I'll show you the why that is. But yeah, just like some gear on here, some bags. This is all for spell power enchants for like weapons. And then I've just got like some eagle gear. Some of it's pre-enchanted from like, this was level 40. So this is when I was playing open world farming. This has spell power leg enchant. The helm has, actually that one doesn't. I have one that has a spell power enchant on it, I think. It might be on that other character. And then the weapon does. Okay, and then kind of get into the juicy investments that I haven't yet sold. So, in fact, while I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and boot up my other account. So this guy is just a bunch of jewel crafting stuff. Not a lot has changed here. I think I added some of these citrines, some jades, these lesser moonstones. Oh, they all sold. Which I posted because I think I have, yeah, so I still have a bunch. I have about 400. I think you can, or not aquamarines, these lesser moonstones. I have 100 and some odd, so I got in here. Nope, they're still coming. You can use these to make, I think it's like Crown of Destruction. There's some jewel crafting helm, I think, that you can use these for. They're not in leveling guides, so I'm basically hoping to make these and sell them. If not, I'll just DE them. But yeah, that's this guy. Has like the extra, not a lot has changed from there. Extra jewel crafting stuff. While that loads, I'll switch over here. So I don't know if this is going to work because I guess some people tested in the PTR and it did not work, but it used to work in TBC Classic. So I just have like 10,000 snowballs. Or I think I have more than that, almost 14,000 snowballs. Supposedly these proc Judgment of Wisdom, they were super cheap. I spent less than 20 gold buying all these. So it's one of these, like, it'd be a shame. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So might be able to flip these. Not entirely sure. And then I think Runtak has snowballs. Gramash, I think, has some jewel crafting stuff. Yeah, so I think I just started trying to sell some stuff, but just some aquamarine stuff. You can see I've sold about 200 of my aquamarines. I like to try to like kind of pre-offload some stuff before before the prices either tank, like I don't know, I just kind of like to get it, sell it a little bit early. So I think I have 400 on here, and then on this character, on these guys, I have like another, I don't know, maybe 800 or something. Okay, yeah, this is Sermaya. I have 400 here, so I have about 800 aquamarines left. You can see I've sold 500 on this account, and that's just because I was just trying to offload stuff. These might tank. I don't think they will, but I don't like to be. So basically, I've recouped what I spent. You see, I think I bought all these for like 12 silver per. I only bought 1,500 of them back in like last February. And I've got some cloth here, just some random investments. Rune cloth can be switched into dream dust, which is useful. Ah, fuck, I didn't mean to exit game. And then, yeah, so this guy is just more aquamarine stuff. Gramash. GDAD Bank, I think, has a little bit of mithril ore left, but I've been selling my thorium ore. In the last video that I made, I told people to buy thorium ore anytime it was under 20 silver. You can see now it's at 90 silver per. I bought an obscene amount of it. I think I had like 9,000 or almost 10,000 at most. A lot of my numbers on TSM are messed up. You can believe me or not, but I rebuilt my computer about 2 months ago, maybe almost 3 months. And so I lost a bunch of my like buy data because I've had these investments for so long. And then I've got some mithril ore. I think I also bought for about 15 silver per, and I've just been kind of holding on to it. Looks like I've sold 560 of it. I didn't have a ton of that. You can DE that in, or whatever, prospect that into aquamarines, so that's probably what I'm going to do. You can also use it to level smelting.
And honor.
So that's G-Dead Bank. Gildan is my warlock that I might level or boost. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, Phase Invest is where I have a bunch of scrolls. So I have, let's see here. It says I have 150 on the AH. I think I have about 500 of each. These are all strength right here. If you don't know, scrolls go up to level 5. That's 20 stats. Sell some. So go about 466 total. I buy them anytime they're less than like 2.25. In fact, I bet on this account. I go back to Nagilik, who's probably at the auction house. I think I buy them at like 2 gold, 30 silver. Anyways, the stats go up to 20 per scroll. It stacks with everything. Well, you don't use an agility elixir. It's a battle elixir, so let's see here. I buy them for I bought 500 for an average of 216. And then I sell them when they're double. So I've started to try to sell them on this account, and that way I will make up some of my money. So you can see I've made 200 gold total off the flip. And then I've got a bunch of strengths as well. And that's because it's the same thing. So I'm playing Ret Paladin. All the hunters are going to want this for their pets and themselves. Warriors are going to want strength and agi. This is like the budget consume, but I would be shocked if I don't make triple. I think that agility will go to about 7 gold at least, and then strength will probably go to like 5 if I had to guess. So you'll make more money, and that's because the hunters don't use strength normally. They can if they're melee weaving. None of these characters have meaningful stuff on them except for the rogue, which is like kind of my tailor mule. I will normally just sit here and craft AFK. Let's see here. We got rune cloth. We've got about 2,500 rune cloth. I think rune cloth also skyrockets. Less so relatively to what Mage Weave will do, because I think that farming Skolo and Strat is still useful, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of people in Scarlet Monastery and Zul'Farrak. You'll just be able to make better money elsewhere. So these cloths will go up. I think Silk and Mage Weave. I could be wrong. I doubt it, but and then that's what this guy does. And then I have this guy parked here because come pre-patch, this chick will sell a jewel crafting. I think it's like the pendant agate necklace or something like that. My hunter is parked in Swamp of Sorrows because there's a recipe there that gets sold for jewel crafting. My shaman is parked in the middle of Desolus because there's a trade goods vendor that also sells, I think it's like the blazing citrine ring, which I originally was going to need for leveling the paladin, but now that's not happening. So yeah, this is where it is if you want to compete with me. While that's logging over, I swap this guy. So I think I showed these ones. Okay, and then enchant skill is a enchanting mule, like a kit, but it's like an omega kit. So I have all the stuff to level it, but then I also have like I didn't do a ton of research on what actually gets swapped to a trainer. I think some of this might. There are other things that don't. Like, for example, superior stamina, I don't think is trainable at a vendor. So basically I went through the auction house and I bought everything that I could that was like reasonably priced. I didn't overpay for anything. I think I'm probably profitable on most of these. I actually flipped this one a couple times and then I decided to just keep the last one that I bought. Fiery riding skill. somewhere in here is a Crusader. Lesser block. So I probably got like 1,000 gold at least in somewhere in here's a Crusader, maybe. I deleted it. And then I've got, you know, like some stuff. Got my Arcanite Rod. This character is probably worth like 2,000 gold. All the I don't think there are TBC versions of these. Scanning, advanced mining, advanced herbalism. Yeah, there it is. So there's a Crusader. Greater stamina, which I'll probably flip. Oh no, these are the wrong ones. Never mind. Yeah, so I've just got a bunch of formulas in here so that basically what I've decided my paladin, my main paladin, is going to be an enchanter jewel crafter. I think for Rhett, this is probably engineering and blacksmithing in phase 1, and then phase 2, it's definitely engineering, definitely blacksmithing. Phase 3, I think you start opening it up to like other, because you can like swap out a blacksmithing, because you don't need the weapon anymore after you get torch, or twin blade of phoenix rather, depending on which phase we're talking about, 2 or 3. But at the end of the game, enchanting is really good for the ring enchants once you get 4 stats, and jewel crafting gives you the corium choker. My thing is, I like playing the auction house so much, and I like making gold so much that I've decided to kind of like take a subpar profession in enchanting in the first couple phases. I'm a Rep Paladin. It's post nerf. Like, I'm not super concerned. If I was trying to like super Omega pump, I would go blacksmithing and engineering. But the way I see it now is I'm just gonna go enchanting and jewel crafting, make a bunch of money, and still be competitive in raid. Like, there are advantages for Rhett and prod. I'll be tanking cars on. But anyways, that's what I'm doing here. I have all these enchants. That's why I've got all these. I've got, looks like 500 large brilliant shards. It's about 1,500 gold worth. This character is definitely almost worth 3,000 gold probably. And these are because, one, you can make the oil to level, but you can pass 300. And also, I think locks and maybe mages want it for the oil that this makes. One of these here might be in the bank. But yeah, so that's enchant skill. Basically my Omega enchanting kit. JC Gill's the same thing for jewel crafting, but I don't have any of the formulas out or the patterns, obviously. Black's G, Blacksmith Gilmartin, or Gilly was my blacksmith kit. I still have most of it, but I actually saw that mithril bars and thorium bars were like a gold or each. So I posted them earlier. I'll explain why in a second. And they all sold like instantly. So that was cool. Now I'm up to 19,000 gold, which is awesome. But yeah, this guy is just, he's a weaponsmith kit because I wasn't super set. My second paladin, because like I said, I'm going to level the second one, I think is going to be a blacksmith. And I might PvP on that one, but that's what these are. These are the weaponsmith quest. And yeah, it's just a full blacksmithing kit, minus now some mithril bars and thorium bars. And the reason for that is I have Orgil, who has a bunch of ore. And I started out only having thorium ore. You can see I have about 4,000 left. I think my other character, I might have sold it all on the other account, actually. But let me check real quick. But I think I bought about 9,000 total, somewhere around 9,000. And I think I sold half. See if I have any thorium ore here. Nope, I sold it all. So you can see I've sold 2,000 on this account. Let's see how much I've sold on the other account. About 2,000. So I have 4,000 left. So this is tracking 8,000, which means I have probably about 5 or 6 or 1,000 is hiding in a mailbox somewhere. But yeah, so this thorium ore, you can see here, I have copper ore. I don't think I have tin ore yet. I think I need to buy some of that. I've been waiting for it. I might just end up biting the bullet on that one. I've got gold ore, silver ore, true silver ore, and this is all because, let's see here. incognito, then do TBC mining leveling. So you can see you can just level from 1 to 290 by just smelting, but you need tin ore, copper, tin and copper turn into bronze, silver, iron, gold, mithril. So I have all that here. I think. Yeah, there's iron, mithril, gold. Basically, I could make one of my characters go to 290 mining, or I could have some homies. I could sell the ore, I could prospect the ore, or I could have some homies smelt it for me if I just need to like level blacksmithing. But I bought all this ore, all this thorium ore for less than 20 silver each. You see purchased 5,600. So what I bought after I rebuilt my computer for an average price of 16 silver per. So I've at least 5x my, or 4x my money here. Close to 5x actually. So that's cool. Maybe that is 5x. What's 94? Oh, that's not it. 95 divided by 15. 5 divided by 16. Yeah, so I've almost 6x my money on there. I should have bought more, but it was just a pain in the ass to have room for it all, frankly. Okay, and then the last thing is, I think this guy, which I watched this video from TBC 4 years ago, and it was a 1 to 10k challenge. I've been recording. I'm not sure if I have the skills yet, but I'm gonna try to figure out. I've been recording every time I buy and sell on the auction house with this guy. I started out with 1 gold. I'm at about 65 gold in a little over a week. It's a really slow start because you have to do like vendor searches and stuff like that. But yeah, this character, I'm gonna try to get him to 10,000 gold. It's kind of fun because I started him at the end of the expansion or whatever, the original, and so I started out, you know, flipping dusts and stuff, and now I'm kind of up into herbs where there's a deposit cost. But yeah, I started this guy with 1 gold, and now I'm up to, I'd say about 66 gold if I had to guess, somewhere maybe a little bit more. And yeah, I've been recording it all, so that's kind of the goal for this guy. Is I'm just gonna keep trying to flip. I gave myself some bags and 1 gold, and I'm up to 26 raw gold and 50 in the on the auction house. But yeah, so at the end of the expansion, I have about 19,000 gold. I just want to kind of actually swip over to my main for vanilla. At the end of classic anniversary, I have my warrior, who I was out here helping somebody who was a main tank of the raid. I made all my money on Lionheart helms. It doesn't say because, again, I lost all my data. I probably sold about 700 or 600 Lionheart helms. I probably did craft fees for about 200 or 300 of those, and then which I would make like anywhere from 50 to 100 gold per craft at the very beginning. I think I was the 3rd person on the server with Lionheart helm recipe. And then I swapped over to just crafting helms and selling them for a markup, where I would make anywhere from about 2 to sometimes 700 gold per Lionheart helm. I don't know why people wouldn't just bring me the mats and have me craft them, but yeah, I was making money hand over fist. I probably gave away, I did like a loose calculation in my head. In fact, I might have, I want to show what I gave away to people, but I was tracking it at one point. Let's see if I have it. Yeah, so in the first, let's see here, before MC even ended, I had given away 7,000 gold. I think my total count, I was doing it in my head, I think I gave away around 45,000 gold throughout the expansion. That was through Lionheart helms. I helped homies up. I hooked homies up with Lionheart helms. I used to play with a guy, Def Camp. He played for a little bit. I think I gave him a Lionheart helm just flat out, which I did to a couple people, and then I gave a bunch of gold to people that were swapping specs for the raid. I gave a bunch of gold through like items to the guild for consumables or frost gear. I don't remember how much it was for the. I never got a Thunder Fury. I have a binding. I've been sitting on this for literally a year. I got it week 3. Maybe I deleted it somewhere in here. Binding. Hello. There it is. And so yeah, I've had a binding. I put out basically a lottery. If we saw another binding, I would give out. I don't remember how much it was. Let's say 3,000 gold. That was probably about halfway through the server, probably like middle BWL maybe. And yeah, at the end of it, I'm at about 20K plus about, I'd say 6K, maybe more in investments or stuff that I'm going to use. The goal for TBC, I'm going to call it now, is gold cap. I think it's about 215,000 gold. I think I can get there. We'll see. I'm not going to do GDKPs if they are legalized. I'm not going to do boosting or any of that thing. This is all through the auction house and professions. But yeah, the goal is going to be gold cap on a character. I'm not even sure if it's a character or an account, frankly. But I've never done it before. I'm not going to be a benevolent investor whale. I'm going to keep all my money to myself until I get to gold cap, and then I'll probably give it away. Because once you know how to make gold, you don't really have a reason to have it. You can always just make more. So, yep. This is my document, mostly for myself, but hope this helped you figure out ways to make money in either another fresh that happens in God knows when, or Classic Plus. Lionheart made me easily 100,000 gold. I spent money on I have 660s that I boosted 5 of them by paying mages. I think every one of those is about 2,000 gold. I've made a ton of money in doing investments. Yeah, but definitely Lionheart was the way to do it, and then using blacksmithing to make money. Yep. All right, GG's. Like, comment, subscribe. Curious to see what you guys think. Bye.